What's going on YouTube? In this video, for the remainder of this evening and tomorrow morning and most of tomorrow, we're going to be night fishing. And the fish in the pond we're at are massive carp and big pike. I'm here with Arnie as well, and he's been here for most of the day. I've only just arrived, and he's had a nice 13-pound pike. I'll pop a picture up here, and it was massive. We've got tons of rods out. I think we've got about 8 or 9 rods. We've got 3 carp rods set up here, and some dead baits out for the pike. There's a couple more over here. You can't see, let me get a bit closer. There's 3 more out over here. Again, some for carp and some for pike. And then I'll show you round here. And then round here, I've got both of my rods set up. I've got a new rod, actually, a nice Daiwa one. They've both got method feeders on, both out for the carp. So we've got all these on the bite alarms for tonight. If we hear any buzzes or anything, we're going to come out, strike, and see what we can catch. For tonight as well, I've bought my pole or whip, whatever you want to call it, with me. I'll get this rigged up in a minute, and I've got some fluorescent tips to put on the float. So I'll set this up and see what I can catch on the float tonight, and then obviously I'll be using it tomorrow as well. So now all the rods are set up, we're just going to start the long waiting game and wait for the bites to come in. Just in case you was wondering too, all of the rods are out. You can't see, but just over there and over there. I've got one right underneath a tree, and I've got one in the middle of the pool. And same goes for all of the other rods pretty much. They're all in the margins, in the middle. They're dotted all over the spot. And for the pike ones, they're all in the middle. So make sure every single one of you stick along till the end of the video, because you're not going to want to miss what we catch tonight or maybe even tomorrow. While it's still the evening, I'm going to pop some of these little fluorescent tip floats on top of my float on the pole. I've just rigged it up, by the way, and I'll pop a maggot or some spam on and see what I can whip out tonight. So I've just put the little fluorescent glow-in-the-dark stick on my float, and I've just cast it out. It looks really good in the water, actually. I've popped a maggot on, not the spam at the moment. See what we can get. I am absolutely gutted. This rod here, this one here just went right off. Bite alarm was going and everything. The end of the rod was moving loads. So I pick it up and I sort of strike a bit, but it wasn't on. It was on and then it went. It could have been anything from a big carp to a big bream, because there's loads of big bream in here that like to disrupt the swim. I wouldn't mind catching one, but after one I'm done. The main reason why I didn't catch it though was this rod here was there and it got in the way a bit. It was leaning over the other rod, so now I've moved that onto a different sort of peg thing. Next time I get a fish, I'm going to land it. Have a little snack whilst we wait. Not too long after I missed the big bite, I had another, except this one didn't set off the bite alarms. It was just sheer luck that I was watching the rods at this time and saw it bend to the left. I was quick to act on it and managed to land this. So the rod's just been bending, the bite alarm didn't go off, and I've just reeled in this bad boy. Put up no fight whatsoever, but he's just floating. It's just a nice bream there. So I've just netted the bream. He's quite big, he's a new personal best. I'll give him that. He's a little slab. But I'll get the wafter out his mouth now. Right then guys, here we have a big slab of a bream. He is very, very big. New personal best, that's for sure. But he's been out of the water quite some time now, so I'll chuck him back in there. Off he goes. He just sank to the bottom slowly. You can see him swimming off there. Off he goes. Well, we had that bream, and that was a decent catch for a first, to be honest. I would have preferred it to be a carp, but it was alright. It's now about 11 PM, and the bites have really slowed down. We've not had no action for about an hour. It's been about an hour and a half since we had that bream, so yeah, it's been slow. So I'm going to put the camera down for the evening now. Obviously, if I get any bites throughout the night, if we catch a carp in the night, of course I'm going to show you guys on the camera. But if I don't, I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. As you can tell through no more dark footage, we didn't get anything throughout the night. We had the bream and that was it. But I'm now back at the fishing. It's about 6:30 AM, so we've got about 8 more hours of fishing, I'd say. So I've just casted both of the rods back out, put fresh bait on and everything. Wish me luck. Chances are this morning we'll land a pike or a carp, because they tend to feed early morning. I've been out a few seconds and I've got a little fish on. I'm not sure what it is. Oh, it's a little perch. Teeny tiny perch, off he goes. I don't really want to be catching like a lot of small fish, so I'm just gonna probably catch about 2 or 3 more, and then I'll pack the pole up and go for the big fish only. So I've got this bait boat here, just out there, and I've loaded my method feeder into it, and I'm just gonna drive it out just underneath that oak tree over there. Well, that bait boat did the trick and get it right underneath the tree. I'm going to do the same with my other rod as well, because honestly I'm not in a good spot. My casting's not the best today. That's all done now. I'll just get the tension on the line. There we go, that's quite tight. I was just about to send the drone up to get some footage for you guys, and the drone just decided to crash into a tree and plop it right into the water. Luckily I managed to salvage it, but it's if I can repair the thing, so I'm going to try and do that. Right, good thing is now we've sent every single rod back out. We've put the bait boat on them and sent all of them out with the bait boat, so that means it's got bait like directly by the floats and the hooks, so we're going to bag up in the next few hours, I think. In previous sessions too, we've fished this pond a bit further up, not in this peg we're at now, but we fished it before and we've had 20-pound carp and 19-pound carp and some more as well. We've had loads of big bream, but it's a really good night fishing pond. So in the next few hours we're here, I'm really hoping to get like a 20-pounder or something, and just a whopper. What doesn't help is where some of the rods are at the moment. There's about 5 ducks and they've been there for about half an hour just dunking under the water. They're just doing somersaults, showing off to the females, I think. But there's an entire school of minnows right there. Look at these. Them minnows are all just there eating their ground bait. I chucked in some ground bait there last night whilst I was setting up my feeders, and there's loads of minnows and little roach and stuff eating it now. It's quite cool. The pond we're at as well, it's usually hard to fish anyway. Like in general in the summer when we came, it's hard to fish, just hard, it's really slow all the time. So we're here and it's approaching winter. That's probably why we're not catching much at all. This morning, like in the early hours, about 7 AM I think it was, the pike float was bobbing like crazy and it went right under, but we wasn't watching and it was all the way over there and didn't land the fish, unfortunately. Then about an hour after that, the bite alarm on the pike rod went off, but there was nothing on it again. So the pike are playing around with the dead bait, so in the next hour or two that we've got left, there's a good solid chance we could land a pike, but I'd much prefer a carp at this point. I've just been sat here watching these 3 rods here, and by the far end one, a carp has sort of just came out of the water and like shriveled the top of it like they do. They just sort of come to the brim and mess about with the water a bit, but I've just seen one quite big do that, so if we could land that, if he hooks on, that would be amazing. The pike float was just having loads of bites, struck, and the pike has bit the line off. Because look here, even with the wire trace on, he's bit the line and the float's still out there now, so we're probably going to send the bait boat out to get that. But I mean, that's a good sign of action, but we've came to the conclusion that the pike is still on the hook, because the float, it's moving everywhere as if a fish is on it, and we think that the pike's still on it, and we're going to try and get it back and try and get it in, but if not, then we've lost him. Very good news, we've just had some bites on one of the carp rods, but the carp, the bite alarm went flying, zoomed off, and then it stopped. The lines, like the end of the rod stopped moving and everything. So that fish must have just thought, like, get lost, you ain't catching me today. But that's a lot of signs of activeness. We've had a pike bite and a carp bite in the last 10 minutes. That's put a lot of hope back into this session. The pike rod is now off limits, it broke, snapped off and everything, so now we're just purely carp fishing only. I've had my 2 final recasts. Now all morning I've been fishing out over by that tree and over there, sort of on the other side of the pond. Now I thought, I've been there all morning, there's obviously no carp there, so I've casted out in the middle of the pond where it's a bit deeper, and the carp are probably in the middle at the bottom because it's warmer there, so I've got a good shot of catching one now in the last hour or so of the day. Well, unfortunately those 2 casts I had was not the lucky casts. It's now about 12:30, 1 o'clock-ish, and we're thinking of packing up because we've not had no joy. The most I caught today was that little perch I had, and I also netted a minnow just for the sake of netting a minnow because I got a bit bored. But I'm going to reel these 2 bad boys in and hopefully they can get me lucky next time. Last night was good though. I had that big bream, which was definitely a decent catch, new personal best, so that was a bonus of this little session here. But it's come to an end, unfortunately. Everything is now packed up and we're ready to shoot off. But the main thing is, I didn't blank. I had a bream and a few other little fish, so I'm happy with that. Of course, next time I come night fishing here, I will definitely get a carp. I'll make sure of it. With that all said and done, I'm going to wrap the video up here. thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed, and even if you didn't enjoy, please smash the thumbs up button on the video. Helps out the channel quite a lot more than you think. Subscribe to the channel whilst you're down there as well. And of course turn the post notifications on so you never miss another one of my videos. But for now everyone, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.